Gossip, an all new platform brought to you by Anchor, the podcast that gives you everything you need in one place. Remember, gossip is what's true to you. It may not be true amongst the masses, but it's true to us. Check us out at anchor.fm/gossip by Deacon Mav. Again, that's anchor.fm/gossip by Deacon Mav. Download the free app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hey,
How you doing?
doing good, cuz.
Good. What's going on with you today, brother?
Living in the moment. I'm in a garden in Texas. The sun is out and it's overcast, but it's good. It's beautiful. Just getting some peace of mind.
That's all right. That sounds like a beautiful setting too.
Oh yes, it's perfect. I got a nice little waterfall here, fruit growing off of trees. It's my own little Eden.
Oh wow, you're in the oasis.
Yeah, it's a courtesy of one of my best friends. He took the time to grow this and nurture this and to enjoy it. It's can be a part of it and it's really a blessing.
That's all right. That's all right.
And how are you today, cuz?
I am doing well. Just taking it day by day and taking it as it go.
Ah, good. First of all, can you hear me okay?
Huh?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, cool. I got a lot of life happening around me.
Really? Yeah, we all do. We all do. To be honest with you, we all do.
Yes.
So what's going on with you?
Just thinking. First of all, thanks for having me.
You definitely welcome.
I know we talked about doing it, and now it's like, woo, it's happening. So
I know, right?
I thought, oh wow, a couple of months maybe. No. Let's make this happen. So thanks for having me. I am a fan, and
Thank you.
I'm more than happy to share my thoughts on any subject. I think we were talking about evolution.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, evolution is something that I don't think people are really gathering the concept, and if so, they're not entertaining it. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, looking around, and I know can't nobody that we like normal people tell us what's going on. Like everybody got their own hypotheses as to what's actually going on, and truthfully, the only thing that you can worry about is yourself.
Ah, yeah.
And what you got going on and what you trying to do. And I think they're trying to divert our attention so much away from us. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that we were never really taught to do, was focus on us. It's always been about somebody else, whether it be government, whether it be uh, mom and dad, whether it be the teacher or whether it be God.
Mm. Yeah.
And I think that when we begin to figure out who we are, then maybe what's going on around us wouldn't bother us. And so how does that shift into evolution? Well, like I mentioned, I'm trying to relay to myself and my podcast listeners is that evolution starts in the mind and how we think or how we believe or how we realize a truth in order to create a new reality.
Yeah.
So go
It's
ahead.
it's oh sorry, cuz it's yeah, I agree with that. It starts with the mind. It starts with saying, can I survive in this world? How do I survive in this world? Because this world is in itself is a living being and it's evolving. And then you add humanity and humanity's um, array of cultures. And no matter what culture, what society you live in, it changes. The government changes. The cost of living changes. Your
Mm-hmm.
relationship with your the people around you changes. It changes
Mm-hmm.
quite frequently, and it changes very rapid, and it's very quick. So when you think about evolution, how I think about it, is just as you say. It starts in the mind. How can I survive? Do I have to become a better person, a deeper thinker? Starts with self.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what can I give? If I can't create something, can I contribute to something?
Right.
And how does that contribution add to me as a person?
Right.
I think that's a part of evolution, yeah?
Yes, sir. Totally. Because those are all things that require evolving. It
Mm-hmm.
requires you to change, to do
Mm-hmm.
something different. And that's evolution. And I think a lot of the times, I think right now, people are so afraid of change that they keep wanting things to revert back to the way it was. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of the protests that are taking place currently. And my personal opinion is a setup. And I'm
How
not
so?
talking about the protest as a setup. I'm talking about the the scheme of things is a setup as far as the picture that they are portraying or the image that appears to be in the picture. And I think it's just a setup in order um to go into something way more sinister.
Ah, okay. Let's put that, if I may, I want to put a thumbtack in that right quick. But I want to tackle something you just presented. You said people are afraid of change.
Hmm.
Why do you think that is?
Hold on. Um, I think change is so. uh, People are afraid of change because they're comfortable. If you want to just look at it from what it is,
Uh huh. Yes. Yes. Yes.
comfort. To disrupt comfort, people don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
People like things to where they know what's going on. People love to expectations. People love
Mm-hmm.
to expect shit, and when
Mm.
they get disappointed, they all frantic. You know what I'm saying? But I think comfort is the main reason why people are afraid of change, and comfort at this moment in time where nobody knows for certain is the worst position to be in, and that's
Mm.
an arresting position.
Yes. 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 Because I think I completely agree with that. When we find that sweet spot, because it is so hard.
Hmm.
I don't care who you are or what kind of life you live. It is hard.
Very, very
You're
hard.
fighting yourself. You're fighting the world, and
Oh yeah,
it's hard. So we find this place where it's comfortable, and then we plateau, and then we
yep.
become complacent.
Hmm.
And when something comes in, and we for some of us, if we're trying to move up, it's harder for others because you might have to fight a little harder than the other person, and then you make that mistake to compare someone else's battle to your own, and then you lose hope and you go back and revert back, just as you were saying. We go back to that comfort. We go backwards. We evolve backwards because it's comfortable. It's easy. It's
Hmm.
easy to stay in that stillness when
Hmm.
it's doing nothing but um, wasting your time and your life.
Yeah, it
You know, they always
perishing.
they always say, nothing worth having is easy.
Right.
Evolution is not easy. You might lose an arm, and this is figuratively, and for some people, depending where you're at, it's physically. You might lose an arm, you might lose someone, you might lose touch with yourself. But once you get to that next state, that state of mind, that state of being, you'll never want to go back.
That's right. That's right, and I totally agree. And like how I try to portray Although in my podcast I don't call it evolution, but it really is. I refer to it as evolution, but I don't call it evolution. And
Mm,
it is changing the way we think.
yeah.
If we could really just change the way we think, you know what I'm saying? Like now we're being forced to change the way we think with what's
Right.
going on. And what I'm trying to get people to do is to shift from what's going on to just to yourself and focus on changing the way you think because you know the external world is changing, so you need to change.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And if you look at like all the stuff that is going on, like with the disease, with the shortages of food, you know what I'm saying, and shortages of jobs and employment. Okay, we need to be evolving mentally. You know what I'm saying? With the shortage of food, okay, if food do run out, how can I survive? Because
Mm-hmm.
evolution is survival.
Yes.
And if we continue to look at the past, we will not be able to survive in an evolving world. So if we're having the food shortages, your evolution would be to eat very little or don't eat at all. And people
Yeah.
say it's impossible, but
Yeah.
it's not. Just with the jobs, okay, people are losing their jobs. Evolve, become a business owner.
Yes.
Or yeah, exactly, become a business owner, or don't worry about a job at all, because I'm going to get to a point, and the point is that everything that is happening is forcing you to make a decision, and that's something people don't like to do, so they like to stick with the past. With everything that is making people make a decision, we need to be looking to see the future and not the past, because if we the evolve far as with the hunger, if we evolve far as with the job, and it doesn't take everybody to think a different way in order to cause a massive change. Just like it don't take everybody to run the world. Only a small group of people do that. Just like it didn't take another giant to beat Goliath. David did it. Who is Goliath? David. David is the small group of people in the world that have the ability to change the outcome of a problem in the
Mm-hmm.
world. And if we evolve mentally, far as turning into spiritual beings
Mm.
and getting away from the physical, because the
Mm.
eating the food is physical,
Mm-hmm.
the working a job is physical,
Mm-hmm.
the you know what I'm saying, the chasing the money is physical. When and be honest with you, they're also trying to force a different mindset upon the world. That's why they're presenting yoga and meditation the way they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to show you that there's two paths that we can take right now. And I'm gonna put the third one in there.
What is it?
And huh?
The third path.
The third path is becoming the creator himself or itself.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Uh, mm, mm. Yeah.
And
It's. Oh,
go ahead.
sorry. No. No.
No,
No.
go ahead.
Oh God. I was like, this is so good. It's so good because it's so true. It's so true. You know,
it, it
growing
is.
up, you think like you see the world one way, but when you get to a certain age, you start seeing the world completely different. And then you look back, you're like, it's nothing the way it used to be. It can never be that way. It can never be that way. But then
Right.
you know, you're hopeful. You're like, I have all these choices, and then you come to a point in your life where you realize, no, you don't.
Yeah.
They say you have a choice, but no, you really don't. They present to you choices, but it's their
Hmm.
choices. It's not necessarily your choice.
That's right.
To get everyone to think about evolving, I think
Hmm.
that's what protesting is. You know,
Hmm.
it's presenting this issue, it's bringing awareness to this issue, and it's trying to um, gather uh, gather like-minded and unlike-minded individuals to see that this is a problem that we need to come together, we need to think together, we need to evolve together, we need to become something different than what they want us to be, and don't accept the status quo.
Hmm.
You know, so
Hmm.
I personally, I would say, do I believe? Do I believe that mankind can evolve? Not in my lifetime. Not in my lifetime. No. Do I believe I can evolve as a person? I'm getting there. I'm taking the words that you said, I'm basically living those words. I'm
Hmm.
35 right now, and I had to think about the person I was when I was 20, the person I was when I was 25, 30, and now I'm 35. Can I say
Right.
that I was the same person? No. If you say that you're the same person, you need to do work.
Right.
You know, you need to do work. I can't say where mankind will evolve to, where we as people can evolve to. I really don't. How do you beat something that's become? How do you beat something that's made it impossible for you as a person to live without? You see?
Repeat that, and I'm finna have a fire answer for you. Repeat. Say
Oh,
that one more time, cause I'm like, cause when you said, I'm like, I like how he said that. Say it one more time, for because I got
how do you
captured
beat
in the moment.
something? It is, you think about this stuff. At least I do. You do. I think we think about this thing. How do you beat something that's made it impossible to live without?
Mm, I like that. How do you beat something that has made it impossible to live without?
It's made
The
itself indispensable.
the only way you can defeat something that has made it impossible to live without is to evolve. The word evolve sums it up. Let me put it this way to help explain what I mean. How you beat something that you can't live without, or it seems that you can't live without. You evolve. Let's go back to the eating, for instance. There are people that are out here that are known as breatharians already. They don't eat. They sun gaze. So people have been evolving. Another one. Um, how do you evolve? You evolve by thinking of the impossible. See,
Ah,
how you could never fly if you never thought to fly. You could never. It's just to make it. You could never move a paperclip on a table with your mind if you never thought to try it. You could never fast just to go to something as simple as that. You could never fast if you never thought that you could. So what I'm trying to say is that with the mind, you have to remove the limitations that have been placed on it, or the construction that, or the way they have constructed it to think, and begin to live in the abstract, and
ah,
see the world as what you realized.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I think the best way to do that is to become more aware of everything that you see. See, we see cars and houses and stuff, and we like, okay, that's the norm. No, it's not.
Amen.
That's not normal. Like,
Yes,
we really have to begin to see or become aware that that is something that somebody realized and they made it a reality.
yes.
And when we begin to accept that, entertain that, then you will be able to entertain and accept the fact that maybe one day, if I keep jumping off this porch, I am going to fly. Or maybe if I keep looking at this paperclip and thinking I can move it with my mind, it will move. Or if I keep thinking that I don't have to eat in order to live, I will stop eating and still live.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's evolution.
Yes, yes, yes. To add to that, one of my biggest limitations and the biggest hindrance to my own evolution,
What is that?
it's the number one thing to what you think. It's what you say. It's what you
Y-
say to yourself.
Right,
That is the biggest limitation. You
right, okay.
that big phrase, I can't. I
Right.
don't think you got to erase that. For people like me who are always in their head, always overanalyzing, they think they have a wide imagination. They think about the impossibilities and they think, oh man, you know what? I can't do that. I don't think that's good. Let me think about what I can do. No, you know, no, absolutely not. Stop saying I can't. That's the number one thing to unchain your mind and to start your process of evolution as a person.
Yes, I agree
In
with
my point of view, that is the number one thing. And I have a friend, one of my best friends, she tells me all the time, you have to change the way you talk because the way you talk will change the way you view yourself and the world around you.
you. That's right.
I can't see color, but there's color all around me.
That's
I
right.
can't see it because I said I can't see it.
That's right.
I can't fly because I said I can't fly. Well, I can't. I said I can't fly, so I never tried.
That's right.
I can't
That's
move
right.
that paperclip because I never tried.
Right.
I never tried to train myself. I never tried to to believe in myself, believe that I could change, believe that I could become something other than what I am. And just as you said, you start realizing the world we live in with a house and a car and all these things that attributes itself to money.
Mm-hmm.
Money is not natural.
Mm-hmm.
Money, it comes from something natural, but it was a creation. And it only
Mm-hmm.
has value because they say it has value.
Mm-hmm. And we try to store it and
We
get as
store
much
it.
of it as we can because we think that it has value.
They think it has value. So we never looked at any other way to live outside of that house, that car. Now,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, everyone's world is going to look different. There are some similarities. There, it may look similar, but everybody's worldview is different. Some people
Mm-hmm.
want that house, they want that car because that's the world they want to live in. But
Mm-hmm.
then I feel bad because there are people who never thought that there was another world outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
They never thought to create their own world, to evolve their own perception of the
Mm-hmm.
world and create their own type of existence. And that is a way, I think, to live outside of something, how to become independent, rather, how to become independent from something that, as we were just talking about, made itself indispensable in your life. How do you live without something that made itself indispensable?
Mm-hmm.
You know. Now,
Exactly.
you were saying how, and let's put a pinpoint in that because I was like, oh God, that's gonna be good. You were saying how mankind is evolving into something that's bad, and I think that's how I interpreted it. What did you mean by that?
Um. Okay, for a person that has been seeing this coming for over 20 years, um, there's a lot to the story that still haven't manifested.
Mm.
Now, I wouldn't know the story if they hadn't wrote the story down. You understand what I'm saying? So, if these people wrote a story down and you're seeing the story play out, I'm talking about me because most people haven't read the story. And so if you see people or they are acting out this story that they have written down for such a long time ago and it's manifesting, you can only begin or I can only begin to think that it's gonna go to the next level. If if level one has kicked off, then I gotta expect level two to kick off. It's because it's that type of game. And how I know it to be a level two coming because you gotta think the amount of power it took to start level one.
Oh.
If they got the power to kick this off, I know that they got the power to kick off level two. But how do they get to level two? See, this is how deep I go with the thinking. Well, how do they get to level two is by giving you options. And that's like we was talking about a while ago. You got option one, you got option two. But like I said, I'm putting the option three in there, and that's to become the creator.
Mm.
They
Mm,
always give you two choices, always,
mm,
but there's
mm,
always a third because you too are God, or you too are the creator, as I like to say, because God is man.
mm, mm.
And so the way they work, how they work, is that they always have to tell you what the plan is. Because them telling you what the plan is how they beat karma. A lot of people don't know that. See, that's that deep metaphysical uh occult magic. And I say occult not cause it's something bad. Occult just means hidden. It's a secret knowledge.
Ah,
And so by them telling you the plan, that that defeats karma coming back to them.
because it's not
And
deception.
that's right, because they told the plan. And
Ah,
it was your choice to follow it. Or it was your choice to take one of the paths that they laid out. Because they gonna lay out two paths, because it's always the right side, the left side, or the good side and the bad side. It's always two.
like are we in the middle of this great evolution?
The first thing I want to say is, do I see us seeing this in our lifetime? Well, the best way to answer that part of the question is I don't know, because our lifetime can be shit this September,
True.
or shit tomorrow. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Yes,
Let's
absolutely.
just be real.
Yes.
And do so if I lived another 30 years or whatever, let's take it that far. Yes, I think we will. I have another homeboy that just 5 years ago, I was telling him about all this, telling him about this, and he was like, that was one of the things he'll say. Well, that'll possibly happen, but I don't think it'll happen in my lifetime. And here, 5 years later, now anything I say, he was like, that shit possibly can happen. You know what I'm saying? And
It's right.
And it's because, what I'm saying, he's seeing how shit has evolved so rapidly.
Right.
And so, can I see this happening in our lifetime? Yes. And another reason why is because anytime you pick up a joystick to play a game, the object of the game is to beat that motherfucker. And you want to beat that game as fast as you can. Cause anybody that plays a game, that's how they play it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a true gamer, you want to beat it as fast as you can. So you play it. And the reason why I say this will happen in our lifetime, because the game has just started. And because the game is started, they want to beat it or get it over with as fast as they can, so that we can go back to the rest period, or
Mm-hmm.
when to get back to the comfort zone.
Mm.
But the game has to be played because the game has started. So level two happening in our lifetime, yes sir, I truly believe it will. Yes sir, because the game is on. And it's just like with the hunt. When you chilling at the house, you ain't worried about hunting nothing. But as soon as you get to the field, it's hunting time. It's go time.
Mm.
It's go time. And because we in go mode, people better get out of that comfort mode. They better get in go mode.
It's so funny you speak of that because I am a gamer. You're right.
Oh yeah, let me say one more thing. Let me say one more thing.
Ah.
And because they're in go mode, we need to be getting in go mode. Now, they gave us two choices, and that's to chase this money, or to chase this nature and meditation and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Or the third choice that I'm putting out there, the choice to evolve into the creator. We need to be focusing, in my opinion, on evolving into the creator, because they're putting things out there for you that they can control. And the only way to get totally from or independent from their control, you have to become the creator. Therefore, your outcome is the way you want it to be versus how they're going to make it. So
Mm,
no matter which side that they give you, there's some bullshit to come with it.
this is true. This is true.
And
You
so
know, I have a.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No,
Sorry.
go ahead. Go
No, no,
ahead.
no, no, no. Um, I was gonna say, you know, I have to admire that because I have a more, unfortunately, grim,
Hmm.
a more grimmer view of the state of the world, the state of evolution of mankind, and so um, I personally think that yeah, the game is already on. It's been on, and and I think for some of them, it's a long game. Just depends on who's in control.
Hmm.
Some people so some people pick up the joystick and they want to move it along because they're not seeing the results and they want to see the end of this game. Some people like like they like to bake it real slow. They like to get all the details right, get every hidden box and hidden treasure in the game.
Hmm.
Me, player of that game, I like to think of myself as a player of the game, maybe a CPU in a perfect world.
I got you.
Uh,
I got you.
um, I think that because I reached consciousness a little late in life,
No,
because
you
I
did not. Don't think that. Um, and anybody that's listening to this podcast, don't think that. Um, there are we're not all the same. Regardless if we
mm,
all got a head, arms, and legs, we're not all the same. And what makes us different is our mind.
ah
Some of us have came to wake a lot of people up that don't know what's going on.
that's something that goes beyond me if I think about it. You
Hmm.
know, because I'm I'd like to think that I'm an average Joe, which would be a lie because I'm just me and I'm
Right.
somehow wrapped into the average Joe, and I don't really think about that. But you're right. They always tell you what's going on, what's going to happen before it happens.
Yeah.
Hiding
Yeah.
it in plain sight. Hiding in plain sight. What
Hmm.
do you think? Do you think that we will see in our lifetime? You and I are pretty older now. I don't want to say old.
Okay.
We not on no.
Hey,
We
say
not.
let's say we mature,
We're
mature men.
mature. Thank
Yeah.
you. I
Yeah.
refuse. I rebuke it.
I
Um,
know that's right.
not quite yet. Maybe 10 years. Yeah. Okay. We're mature enough. Do you think? And do you think we will see this evolution, this level two we speak of? Do you think
Um,
we'll see that in our lifetime, or do you think this is something we'll see? Because whether we like it or not, what will happen will happen. There's no such thing as a coincidence in my book. What will
right,
happen will happen. What will be will be. Period.
right.
Um, do you think that we will see this, considering everything that's going on? Because I have my own thoughts on it. Considering everything that's going on right now, do you think we're in the process of that level two, or do you think this is just the groundwork to it?
Like I said about the go back to the game thing. The game has been played, started just like you said. We in the moments now, because I told you that I've known about this 20 years ago. So where we're at now is we're fighting the boss. And you know when you get to the boss supposed to be the hardest man in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why we're at the level that we're on. This is level one of fighting the boss. Because if this been a 20-year plan, then obviously we've already gone through different levels. They've passed them, they've had successes, they've gotten to where they need to be, and the boss is where they're at. And so now it's fighting the boss time, the hardest part of the game. So why is this the hardest part of the game? Well, they had to shut down the entire world. That lets you know they in the hard part of the game. And for you, well, for us, it's the hard part of the game. For them, this is where shit getting better. It's getting better because they like, okay, well, we see how this is testing, we see how this is working out. Okay, well, can we go to the next step? Okay, let's take it to the next step. And all they have been doing in 2020 is going to the next step, month after month. Every month, something is different. Shit, every day something is different. They're changing laws, changing man. They changing the government. They changing everything every day. When we get to 2021, we're gonna be in a whole new world. But
Oh,
it's
believe it.
only gonna be the beginning of a new world. Cause
Believe it.
and so stuff is changing rapidly.
Mm.
And it's too much to be aware of because one person can't keep an eye on all the stuff that's going on. But what can you keep an eye on? You can keep an eye on your thoughts. You can keep an eye on how you are evolving or how you are paying attention to you and what you are going through.
Mm. Yes, yes, yes.
And because I see the way things are going, I'm trying to tell people it is now time to begin using your thoughts in order to evolve as the creator so that you can survive the stuff that is going on. Okay, well, there's no food. That's all right. I ain't got to eat because this too can happen in your lifetime. Just like everything else that is bad can happen in your lifetime. We're at that moment where we can evolve into something totally new. And they know it. That's why they
Yes.
trying, they know it. That's why all of the commotion is going on because they're trying to divert your attention from you because right now they know that you are evolving, but they want to control how you evolve. They constantly are putting constructs and limitations on the mind. See, a lot of limitations on the mind have been put in place, but they also know that you're evolving. So because you're evolving, they're creating conditions in the
Mm-hmm.
world in order to divert your attention from your evolution because the
Mm-hmm.
body thinks as the mind thinks. So what am I saying? Well, if the mind sees chaos, then the body lives in chaos because of the knowledge that you're allowing to go through your eyeballs to intercept your cells in your body. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to
Mm-hmm.
control the knowledge that is coming into your brain in order for your body to be healthy.
Yes. 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 It's the same as what type of food you eat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's the type of food you eat. You eat junk food, you're gonna look junky.
That's
Your
right.
skin's not gonna shine.
That's
Your
right.
hair is gonna fall out. It's the same thing with your mind, your soul. You
Mm-hmm.
feed it the wrong kind of mess, it will fall apart. And when you
Mm-hmm.
need it, it's not gonna be strong enough to 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 fight the battle, to survive. It's not gonna be strong enough because you're not fed it anything that it needed.
Right. Exactly.
Mm. Yes, 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 yes,
Exactly.
yes.
It's the lack of knowledge is why God's people will perish.
Hmm. I think the biggest contribution to it's so weird. I had the biggest contribution I think to this state of evolution that we are right now is because you have a generation that grew up in a different generation when when the world, like I said, was much slower. We didn't have a lot of things, but we have technology now,
Mm-hmm.
and now it sped up everything. It sped up the thought process, the exchange of knowledge. People who think like-minded, smart people, strong people, woke people now have a voice to now reach people who thought to even to look up and look at the world, the state of the world. And I think that has contributed to our evolution and how we're able to get here at this point in 2020. And yeah, and I think the reason why they are changing things the way they
Yep.
are is to distract us because they too see it. They see what type of
Mm-hmm.
content people are looking at, on TV. So they try to change that. But you know what? Now we got streaming services. So they tried to censor that. But you know what? After that, you got YouTube. Oh, well, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to censor YouTube now. Oh, well, you know what? Now we have streaming services with people
Mm-hmm.
who give a damn, people who want to protect people, who want to feed people good food, feed people good knowledge. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so they're trying all these ways to block this evolutionary change. They're trying all these different methods, and it's not working. And the scary part is that now we have um, uh, now that we have all this, is still
And don't eat. And
you
it's
still have
crazy.
people
Don't
who
even eat.
see this food right in front of them
Mm-hmm.
and don't consume
You know.
it. Don't eat. This is the time where you need to eat. You need to eat. At my age now, I could say I could look back 20 years
Right.
ago, and I still saw. And this is just an example. I still saw cotton fields. Still saw bits of segregation. I saw um, uh, wage disparities. I saw all these different things because then we were coming of off of
Mm-hmm.
let's say a level. You know, we were coming off of a level of this game. We just passed the board. So now we started beginning this new level, and now the level, like you said, got hard, and we're at the boss's room. And to be honest with you, I don't think I'm strong enough just
Yes, it
yet
does.
to beat the final
But
boss.
it
Does that make sense?
um I think, I don't think you're the only
Recognizing that
person that
I
thinks
have
like that.
work to do as a person.
And so again, what I try to do with the pod is to get people to understand it's not the big picture that needs to be in control. You need to take control of the small picture. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about your thoughts. Just control your thoughts. Begin to let your thoughts evolve,
Yeah.
and the mind will
Mm-hmm.
lead the body. If you just go ahead.
Do you think it? Do you think it's bad
No, I think that's a great
for
thing. That's the only thing
for
that you
people
can
to
do.
take an honest look at themselves and say,
Anything
"This is
else
the
would
level
be
that
a
I'm at."
false perception. And so
I,
you have to look at where
mm-hmm.
you at in order to know where to start. And what I try to get people to see, it just
Mm-hmm.
starts in the mind. It starts with thoughts. If you just change the way you think, and if that's hard to do, then do this.
Mm-hmm.
Begin to write affirmations. I can do this. I can do that. Whatever this or that may be, whatever your mind wants you to be able to do, or whatever your mind tell you that's impossible, but it might come to you as an idea that is possible, write it down and begin to read over your impossibilities and begin to just think. And all this is just
Right.
require thinking. Just begin to think that you can do it. Just think it. You know what I'm saying? Like the mind, like I talked about in my pod, the mind. The mind is what seeks and brings
Yes.
back that in which you seek. So if you seek a way to move the paperclip, you will eventually get it. Cause that's what prayer is. See, a lot of people think prayer is getting on their knees and praying. That's not what prayer is. Prayer is something that you hunt. When you pray on something, you hunt it, you seek it down, you seek it out. You pray on something until it manifests. That's prayer. That's how you pray. That's when you pray, you're hunting something. And so we should begin to hunt. We should begin to hunt a new thought. Hunt the impossibilities because they're there. Everything, like we talked about earlier, everything that you see around you had to become a realization from somewhere. And so those who created these things that we are aware of, that we look at as common everyday things, they had to seek and pray. We always say we had to pray to God, right? They had to seek, hunt, and pray until this thing became a reality. whether it be the cell phone that you talking on or the house that you living in. Somebody had to pray and seek it out in order for it to manifest itself here in this 3D. And the time is coming to where we will evolve, but it first start with us evolving the mind. And just like there was a Superman in the past, there'll be a Superman in today, and there'll be an Incredible Hulk today. These people are coming back, but these people are only gonna be the people that
All right.
actually evolved in the mind.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say, it's just great to hear you talk about this.
Yeah, I
I'm glad
understand.
that this was
And
something
because of
you
the
let me speak
evolution that's
on
taking
and to hear
place,
you
and
talk
this is
about
how
because it's
I
something
was
I needed
possible.
myself. You know.
If the whole
It,
world is changing, not just America, not just where you live, the whole world is evolving, the whole world is changing. That lets you know that the possibilities that I'm telling you about are achieving the impossibilities. That is an option because of the energy that's taking place on the earth right now, and it's up to you to take advantage of the energy.
mm-hmm,
If you don't see the opportunity, then the opportunity will miss
mm-hmm,
you. Just like with everything else, you can meet a person that
mm-hmm.
can change your life today, but if you miss the opportunity because you couldn't see it, that's your fault. Because those people are the ones that are thinking on the impossibilities and that they can do the impossible.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. But that just brings me into a deeper thought, man. That just brings me to a whole different thought process. Because again, like I was telling you before, um, I have a way darker view
Mm-hmm.
on
Mm-hmm.
uh, on mankind as a whole
Mm-hmm.
ability, to evolve, and it starts with the individual. And when I look at the individuals as an observer who doesn't necessarily participate in the world as a whole, I like to observe the world. I live in it and I interact with it, but there are certain aspects that I don't um, participate in. I'd rather just observe it. An example is Instagram. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'd observe it, but I'm not going to participate in it. It doesn't do me good, as a person. So when I think about that, I
Yes,
think
you
like,
do, and I'm gonna explain it.
do I have faith? Well, do I have faith in? Well, no, I won't say that because you know what? I
Let me
will think
let me
that
say let me
you have.
let me
No,
say
no,
this.
never mind. Because I think people
To
can,
look at this world and to
and it
lose
starts with,
faith,
like you said. Yeah,
I
never
totally
mind. Yeah.
understand. But guess what? There is another faith out there. That's the difference between energies. The darker view,
Okay.
right? Which is a great thing. I love the darker view. So you see, I'm one of them that see so many.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I told you before, I stand in the center and look outward. I don't. You remember when we had that discussion? Okay. Now, the darker view is a great thing. And yes, that is
Yes.
faith too. Because the darker view is what they don't want. And what is the darker view? Well, the darker view is total destruction of this shit. Why is that an important view? Because some of us will continue on and some of
Mm-hmm.
us will not. And those that will not continue on, they are the ones that trying to keep us looking at the fact that this shit must continue. And we want it to continue. But the reality is it does not have to. And it can end the moment we decide to end it. And I am with those people as well. I am with them as
Mm.
well. If they want to end this shit,
Mm.
let's end it. For real. Let's end it. Let's end it. Cause the thing about the creator, guess what the creator would do? The creator would create something anew. And we don't have to worry about none of this shit no more. Cause I would love that. You know what I'm saying? I would
Yes,
love that. And that's a good
yes,
dream. And there are
yes.
many that follow that have that same dream, but some
That would
people are
be, in my
afraid to
point of
speak on
view,
it.
that would be the dream.
You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that people have more abilities and more
Hmm.
powers than they're capable of, that is something that is not talked about. Why? Because the players that control the game, they want you to forever believe that you're limited so that you will not disrupt their game. And so limitations have been placed all around you to keep you
Yes,
from leveling up.
very good.
And they're really not stumbling blocks the way we think they are. We are really making them more than what they are. Jesus said, if you tell the mountain to move, the mountain will stand behind you. Uh, always talked in parables. Why? For those that actually had the level of consciousness to understand, they would understand. Why did he have to speak in parables? Because giving information to those that can't handle it would drive them insane. And so you have people that take in information and don't process it, go crazy.
You said you're talking about Jesus giving man the power. That mountain is behind you. If you tell that mountain to get behind you, it will stand behind you. And I agree with that. But it's funny. You know how I look at blessings? When I was younger and everything, I would
Oh,
say, blessings is a miracle. But could it be that
right,
blessings are opportunities?
right,
And all you have
right,
to do is see that opportunity, you see? So that because you prayed on it, right? Because you prayed on it. It's not going to just happen. It could be an opportunity. That's how I view blessings. When I pray for something, I want something so bad. I just want this feeling, this emotion, anything, you know. And then boom, up pops an opportunity,
mm-hmm,
and it changes. But I have to say in my mind,
mm-hmm.
I decide to change it because I was blessed with an
That,
opportunity. That's how I view.
that's, mm-hmm.
You
I
see,
totally
that's
understand.
how I view prayer. I view it as mental as well. And I don't see it as all omnipotent. I don't see that. I
Right.
see it as this once in a lifetime chance because, as we said before, you don't know about tomorrow. It's a once in a lifetime chance to change
See,
something that
the
I
omnipotent
thought
is
I
always
could not
with you.
change because
The
of X, Y, and Z.
omnipotent is the spirit or the mind that knows all. See, like in the podcast, the mind is the no thing,
Hmm.
the thing without form until you create it. See, the creator is always with you and it knows all, but you have to get out the way and allow it to go get the information that you need in order for you to make the decision, a better decision than what you could have possibly made.
I agree. I would love to have that conversation with you. I would love to have that conversation with you because, um, I thanks again. Thanks so much for letting me
Yeah,
come on
yeah,
into
man.
your
I
world. Let me
definitely
into your world
appreciated it. You know
and
what I'm saying? When you was
let me
when
speak on
you
it.
got to telling me about your book and everything that's coming, I was like, man, the level of thinking is astronomical. And I know that having you on talking to you about any subject will be a thrilling conversation.
That's if you choose that, though.
Right.
That's if you choose that. If you choose it, because you can have that opportunity to make that choice. But do you choose to 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 evolve? Do you choose to level up? Do you choose to make a separate decision, even though it may cause you discomfort? It may disrupt your world you cocooned yourself in because it's sustainable, because it's enough right now? Are you
That is a
okay
question
with
a person should
discomfort
ask
because
themselves. And
brought on by change? That's a question that a person should ask themselves. When it comes to deciding that you want to evolve, change, take that blessing, pray on it, become a creator, are you okay with discomfort? Are you okay with pain?
and that's a
Are you
question
are you
people need
okay
to
to
ask
make some
themselves,
to take a chance and go
because
left instead of right?
comfort is what keeps people from evolving. And at the times that we're in,
Yes, yes.
the lack of evolving because of all that is evolving around you will lead to dismay. Now some people may be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay if you're okay with that. But the nature of man, and when I say man, I'm talking about man and woman. The nature of man is to survive. So if the situation got to the point where food was really scarce and you haven't already prepared yourself mentally to not have to eat, your survival will be a painful death because you did not prepare for the situation. So therefore you will have to die in discomfort. See, when reality sets in, you would wish you
Mm,
did something different,
mm, mm.
because suicide is not in man's nature. The body automatically wants to live. The ego automatically wants to live. And because it wants to live, it will not allow you to do anything that will cause you to die. And if you do kill yourself, it's because there are other beings that are coercing you, and beings that you cannot see and some that you can see. But that's another topic for another day. Definitely, definitely. I'll bring you back, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
Well, we
we'll
definitely
discuss
have to
some
do it again if
discuss
you'll
some
have
more
me.
things, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about.
Oh, I'd love that. I'll love that. I'd love that. And it's because of it's a many factors in my point of view. It's it's patriotism. It's just your faith in humanity. Some people just have a brighter view. But if you look around the world and you find all these beautiful things being tainted in the world, and you see that you're part of this big machine, this big game, that you as a player are just trying to survive and hop and skip over every dungeon and turtle shell, it gets really depressing. It gets really hard on the soul. It gets real hard, and then you have to really take a step back, look at yourself and say, I have to evolve. I have to level up. I have to become something stronger, bigger, and that in itself is its own battle. But for me, I always thought like, why aren't we further than where we are right now? This goes back to this whole conversation you were talking about, and that's kind of what I was thinking about when I stopped myself
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't figure out the word actually the way I wanted to ask that question. Why? You know, why aren't we further along? We have all these great thinkers, all these great. We have people like you who ask these questions and present and teach and inspire. And we have bigger voices who are on a bigger platform who are trying to reach out to the masses. Why
Mm-hmm.
are we as people and as humanity? Why are we not more evolved, more conscious of the world? We look at the world and we say this is what's wrong with it, and we rather complain about it.
Let
And
me
then you
say
have a few
this.
people who will do
Go
something
go
about
ahead,
it,
go ahead, go
and a
ahead.
few people who will teach those
Go
people
ahead.
how to treat the symptoms of this world. You see? Now my issue comes, huh?
Oh man, sorry.
Oh, right. So my issue comes with oh God, I just lost it. Uh, I'm so sorry. I was just thinking about that, just thinking like, wow, why aren't we people? Oh, there it is. I was going to ask this question, like just referencing back to what we were talking about, what we had referred to about wanting to stay in that comfort zone, looking in the past, and how I think that can benefit us. And here's the only time I think that looking at the past can actually think, how I view things. I view it as if I want to evolve as a person, if humanity wanted to evolve as a person, instead of trying to go backwards, what, to to the past and to bring back
Mm-hmm.
that feeling of everything is
Mm-hmm.
okay and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
Why not look at the past and reference it to look at the future? You see, if I know, because everything repeats
Mm-hmm.
itself. Time is time goes forward, but the world itself is it's a circle. You know, you're gonna come across the
Right.
same thing, time and time again, until we decide as a people to make a different choice. You see, and then we go on to the next level, and so on and so forth. So, with that in mind, how I look at the world and how I look at my own progress and evolution, and I ask these questions like, why? Why are we not doing this? And I think like I look back at the past, and I'll give you
Mm-hmm.
a more direct reference to this: the financial crisis of like 2007 through 2012. I want to say, right? And how I compare that to say now, where everybody's a little shaky on the money, and it's because the coronavirus, everything is slowed down. Um, I look back at that and I think, okay, how did I survive that when I was in my early 20s and just coming up, didn't really know much about the
Mm-hmm.
world. I was cognizant of everything, but really didn't know much about myself or the world. How did I survive that? How did I come out of that? And how do I take those points of survival and use them now when
Mm-hmm.
things are again a little bit shaky, financial wise, the jobs, these are all the things that they're telling us, right?
I know, right?
However, if I go on Indeed, there's thousands of jobs, you know, and I find that odd. So, right, just going back to the game.
Right.
But they're telling us jobs are slowing down. They're presenting this crisis,
Right.
this point of view, this crisis that we're going through, worldwide crisis that's outside, that's caused by the coronavirus. And millions of people are losing their jobs. And, but after that comes what? People lose their homes, their cars, their livelihood, because of this
Mm-hmm.
fear, because of this thing that they said this is what's going to happen.
Why are we not
Like
working?
we said, hide it in plain sight. Um, why are we not referencing that to make ourselves stronger? Why are we as people, why are some of us not referencing that past, those lessons learned?
Because
Why are we
people,
not using that to strengthen ourselves,
because
to take out
people
those parts and refer it
have
now so that we can
depended
evolve further? That has
on
always
God.
bothered me.
And what I mean by people have depended on God, well, they God have made people give
Oh,
up because people look at God will handle it. And they tell you, let go and let God. And so because of religion has caused people
mm-hmm.
to not evolve because people would ask God to handle it, take it out of their hands, and it won't get handled because God is the one that's make giving you the decisions, not the creator. See, the creator don't have to take what is given. The creator can create something from out of nothing because that's the power of the mind. See, whenever we're sitting, looking at the world from an external view, we are constantly, it constantly appears that we have choices. Well, I can do or I don't do. Them the only choices that we have. Well, I can or I can't. I can or I can't. Or I will or I won't. What about being like or what about going internally and coming up with a whole new way to figure it out, whatever it is? And I think we because
Mm-hmm.
we haven't been taught that we have the capability to do such a thing is why I think we don't. Why I think we don't. And those like me, you know, I am here to tell you that you can, and that all you have to do is do it. I read the Bible myself, and that was one of the things that Jesus was trying to convey to the disciples. That everybody's worshiping me, but Jesus would be like, every time he asked the question, he was like, "Who do you think I am?" And they would be like, "Well, you the God of Most High." Was Jesus deceiving them or was he not? Like why would he ask you the question versus just telling you? Because if a king is a king, he would just tell you, I'm the king. What Jesus was trying to do was to get you, or to get
Hmm.
what Jesus was trying to do was to get people to realize that I am just like you. The only difference is I have a different way of looking at the world than you do. And Jesus was trying to get people to evolve mentally. Jesus would say all the time, you would do greater things than I have done. Why would he say that if you didn't have the ability to do the things that he do and do greater things? Like, it's like the possibility is not there. If it wasn't there, it wouldn't be there. But he said you would do greater things than I have done. That means that you could do what I'm doing now and do something, and do something on a higher level. But that's not personified when you go to the churches. What's up, family? That's gonna be the end of gossip. Cousin, I want to thank you for visiting, coming on the show. And anybody that's listening, if you want to come on the show, just send me a voice message. Let me know. You can find the voice message on the website. It'll say messages. You can just tap the messages button and send me a message, and I can respond back to you. I apologize to you, cousin. I apologize to the audience for you guys where it sounded like I was cutting them off a lot of the times, but I think they was tapping in, listening to the phone call, because I heard it start lapsing. But thank you guys again for tuning in to Gossip. Cousin, I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.